So we're back on video number 7 about project management. So we discussed on the last one that sometimes I'm doing activities at the same time in parallel, and I have that wiggle room, that extra time for some activities that are waiting for others to be completed, right? And we saw how kind of easy it is to look at that with the business case example that I gave to you guys. So in more complex project like the one that we were about the hospital that we saw before, it is a little bit more challenging to understand what activities have that wiggle room, and we're going to call that slack time, and activities that don't have it, or how much slack time, how much wiggle room do I have. So a way to do that is to go back to the network diagram, and as you can see here, the activities were just a circle with the letter and estimated time. We're gonna build a little bit more complexity here, so we're gonna do things a little bit more complicated. So you can follow these instructions. I'm gonna guide you guys step by step. So this is one activity A. It takes 12 weeks, right? So if we want, the next step is to divide it into other 4 areas in that circle, okay? So we're going to have more 4 quadrants there, and each one will have a specific function. So the first one is going to be earliest start date. So that is the earliest I can start that activity. Okay. So activity A, if you guys remember, it was the first one after start. So I can start right away. I can start on week 0. And if I start on week 0, and it takes 12 weeks to be completed, when would I finish? Do you guys remember my very tough math questions? So that's one of them, right? So you don't miss them while we are away. So 0 plus 12 equals 12, right? So that's the earliest finish time. So if I start right away, I can finish on week 12, okay? And then we're going to see how, on a step by step, how we work into the next step and the next step and the next step, okay? The bottom right part is going to be the latest finish time. So I'm going to explain how to calculate that. But the math inside the bubble there is just to understand the latest start time is just 14 minus 12 equals 2. So the concept here is the latest finish time is the latest I can finish the task without postponing or affecting the total completion time. And then the latest start time is just taking that number minus estimated time, okay? So going back to the project network that we were looking at, these are the steps. We just have to do that for all the steps into the diagram, okay? So this slide just present all of them already divided. So we know our start date is always going to be 0. So the early start date for A, this example that we just saw, was 0. And the earliest finish date for A was 0 also. Okay? So what is the earliest I can start B? So again, there's nothing before that, so you can start right away. So start at 0. Remember, tough math again. 0 plus 9 equals 9, right? So B starts at 0, finish at 9. So let's do one a little bit more complicated. Let's go to I there on the top. Okay, here on the top, I. When can I start I? So I can only start I when A is ready, right? So it can only start I on week 12. So to understand the starting time of these activities that come after A, they're just going to take that 12 and put it here. So 12 is going to be the start date for I, plus 15 is going to be a little bit tougher this one, right? 27. So 12 plus 15, 27, and now I go to F. right? So F, what is the earliest start date for F? 12 plus 10, 22, right? What is the earliest start date for C? 12 again, right? Coming from A here, plus 10, 22 again. And let's go to D now. What is the earliest start date? So now I have to take a look and see that B is 9, week 9. So it's going to be week 9 plus 10, 19. And for E here, again, week 9 plus 24 equals 33, right? Then I go to the next one here, G. So I have to take a look at this, 22. So I know that this is going to be the earliest start date. 22 plus 35 is going to be 57. And the next one will be H. So H, I know that D finished at 19. So it's going to be 19 here plus 40, 59. And then comes the ones that are a little bit more tricky there, right? So I have J here in the bottom, and I want to know the earliest I can start J. So what is the earliest I can start J? Think about that. So can I start J on week 33? Yes or no? No, right? Because H is not finished and G is not finished. Can I start J at week 57? No, I can't, because H is not finished. So I have to look at the highest number here, okay, of those three, and it's 59. And I have to start J at 59 because if I start before that, H will not be ready, okay? So if I start at 59 plus 4 is going to be 63. Now for K, what is the earliest I can start K? Same logic as before. So 27, 22, or 63? You're correct if you said 63, right? Because it's the highest number here, right? So I can only start when J is ready. That's when I can start K. Plus 6, I'm going to my 69. And if you guys remember what we did before, 69 was the critical path, right? So it makes sense with all the math that we did before, okay? So that's how you calculate earliest start date and earliest finish date. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the lower part of that diagram. Okay.